Robert, this is an opportunity for you to just talk. Zuzu's parents are right here. They just want to know if you have anything to do with it.
The message is simple. They're wanting Robert to either clear his name or take the blame. Today, they stood on this corner to let Robert know they will not accept his silence. Although these guys say they were just clowning around, Captain Lascano says they could have easily been shot at or attacked by scared residents, because at night it's hard to tell that these weapons are just plastic. Well, Jay, I spoke with friends of hers and they tell me she's expected to make a full recovery and is lucky to be alive. They say a total of 4 shots were fired at her and only 1 hit her in her lower back. The concept is to bring as many prescription pills as you possibly can to a party. Then you pour them into a bowl, grab a handful, and swallow as many as you can. Teens and young adults are referring to these get-togethers as farm parties, farm as in pharmaceuticals. Anytime you set up your space heater, you want to make sure it's on a flat surface and in an open space. But most importantly, you want to make sure it's at least 36 inches away from any objects and the wall. And what would a story about a test track be without me seeing firsthand just how well these tires work? Well, Jim, what do you say? Let's step on it.
Let's go.
And to help Deputy Ramon with his search, a spotter puts on these goggles and is able to see everything that Ramon sees. Having 2 pairs of eyes is always better than 1. Now, although the Manguano brothers still stick to traditional forms of farming, they have also embraced new methods involving technology. It's hard to believe that just 2 days ago, the water levels here rose right above this bridge over here, causing it to collapse. While thousands like Keith and Rochelle are now in recovery mode, others are still trying to save their home. Jay and Tatum, the indictment doesn't explain what evidence District Attorney Bobby Bland has on Grace. However, it does say that she and Gabe worked together to murder their parents inside their home here.
There's no perfect family, but if you were to ever look at a family and say, man, that's a perfect family, you know, they were it.
This is how friends and family remember the McDonald family: Greg, Jana, Grace, and Gabe. So when news broke on March 2nd that 17-year-old Gabe allegedly shot and killed his parents as they slept, many in the community were at a loss for words. And now, another shocking development. Investigators say 22-year-old Grace assisted her brother in killing their parents. Reaction on social media from people who know Grace indicate a strong circle of support. One friend on Facebook writes, "Me and Grace are good friends, and I've never seen evilness of her." Another says she's such a sweetheart, especially growing up. Her parents were so involved with them. Ector County District Attorney Bobby Bland wouldn't tell us when their investigation into Grace's involvement began, but he did say they presented evidence to the grand jury on Monday.
From day one, we've always worked with the police to make sure that the evidence was examined, that if anything developed, we follow that up. And that's what we did in this case, just like we do in any other case.
Grace is charged with capital murder and criminal conspiracy. While Bland isn't saying she pulled the trigger, he says she did take part in planning her parents' deaths. And in Texas, if Grace is convicted, she will be charged as if she was the one behind the gun.
This does not change the charges against James Gabriel McDonald. He is still charged with the crime of capital murder, and it didn't change the evidence against him.
Bond is set at $2 million for both Grace and Gabe. Bland says the next step here is to extradite Grace back from Arizona. As you may recall, attorney Justin Lowe says that she was out there receiving some sort of medical treatment. I also had a chance to speak with Gabe and Grace's grandmother today, who says she is supporting her grandchildren 100% and doesn't believe Grace had anything to do with this murder. She tells me that she's still trying to wrap her head around this latest news. Reporting live in Odessa, Deanna Lopez, CBS 7 News. That's right, Jay. By 2 o'clock this afternoon, the grand jury had finished questioning Robert, Chris, and a third witness. In fact, Robert was inside this courtroom right here no longer than 5 to 10 minutes before he and his attorney left, leaving Zuzu's parents and the rest of us with so many unanswered questions.
Do you know where Zuzu is? Robert, we just want to give an opportunity for you to share your side of the story. Do you have anything to say?
No comment.
With his head held up high and his eyes focused on the back door, Robert Fabian chose to remain silent when we asked for his side of the story.
Robert, this is an opportunity for you to just talk. Zuzu's parents are right here. They just want to know if you have anything to do with it.
To say tensions were high in the hallway outside of where the grand jury was meeting would be an understatement. Zuzu's parents saw Robert in person for the first time since their daughter went missing.
He didn't seem comfortable and upbeat and relaxed. He seemed the opposite of all those things.
And he would never even look in our direction. Not once. Not once. No matter how much I tried to get him just to make eye contact. That's all. I just wanted eye contact with him. And he was avoiding it.
Robert and his attorney may have chosen not to speak with us.
I have no comment.
But his friend Chris Estrada was more than willing to clear his name.
They believe I helped, I guess, a cover-up.
And did you?
No. Just hung out and had some drinks. To me, it was a normal day. And I guess now it never will be.
Chris was the first person Robert reached out to the morning Zuzu went missing. He claims that both he and Robert are innocent and have nothing to do with her disappearance.
Do you think they're trying to get you indicted?
I do think so.
And how do you feel about that?
I think it's, them doing their job, and I'll stand my ground and we'll face it together.
With Zuzu nowhere to be found, her parents remain hopeful that one day soon they'll be able to wrap their arms around their youngest child again.
It's not over.
No. Just keep up the support, keep up the prayers, compel the Fabian family to help in any way they can.
All the jurors were paid out today, meaning there will not be another session tomorrow. Now, as far as the grand jury reconvening sometime in the future, that remains unknown. And we also tried speaking with the police chief for the Alpine Police Department, but he said he cannot comment at this time. In Alpine, Deanne Lopez, CBS 7 News. Who knew that West Texas's diverse weather and flat landscape would attract a multi-million-dollar corporation to run their business? The company is Bridgestone, formerly known as Firestone, and they say our area is perfect for testing their tires.
We designed that surface to push the tire to the limits at every corner.
And they've been pushing those limits ever since 1955. 6,000 acres and 8 different tracks make up the Bridgestone Proving Ground.
Some of them look like normal everyday tracks that you see in cities, in the Midwest with broken asphalt and potholes and concrete highway joints for ride comfort testing and noise measurements, interior noise measurements.
Others are designed to look like a racetrack. Take, for example, this wet handling track. And what would a story about a test track be without me seeing firsthand just how well these tires work? Well, Jim, what do you say? Let's step on it.
Let's go.
Between the swift turns and high speeds, let's just say these men have one thrilling and important job.
We need for our drivers to fully understand the handling of the car, so it becomes intuitive for them and they can concentrate on how the tires are performing.
One of the tracks even holds a world record.
Back in 1987, A.J. Foyt actually set a world speed record here. So the record is the highest average speed around a closed circuit for a complete lap, and that was 257 miles per hour in an Oldsmobile Aerotech.
But what makes this testing ground stand out even more so is that they make it a priority to take part in community events, not to mention the majority of their staffers are locals. 60 years and counting, those here at Bridgestone's tire testing facility say Fort Stockton will always be their home. Reporting in Fort Stockton, Deanne Lopez, CBS 7 News. After 2 brothers had their pay and hours cut last February, making ends meet has been tough. So about 2 to 3 weeks ago, they had the clever idea to start delivering pizzas in style.
Ninja Turtle!
That's cool! Have you ever had a Ninja Turtle deliver pizza to you?
Yes!
No, you never have.
Is this the first time?
It's every boy's dream come true to have a hero in a half shell pay you a visit, let alone deliver dinner to your front doorsteps.
I'm smiling, but you can't see it. I got the mask on, but it's priceless. See them kids.
Eloy Paye, his brother, and their wives dress up like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles every Thursday and Friday to deliver pizzas, all to keep the bills paid. Last February, Paye and his brother, both mechanics, had their pay cut by 10% and their hours reduced drastically.
I mean, at first, it wasn't too hard, but then over a while, it started hurting, All that money we had saved up, it's pretty much gone.
The orders are made through their Facebook page, and let's just say business is booming for the family.
We were like, oh my gosh, we have to do this. It was like we didn't even think twice about it.
Oh, I was excited for the kids.
Paye and his family never thought they would be delivering pizzas as Raphael or Michelangelo, but love every second of it.
Say bye, Gina.
Now, Jay and Tatum, you have to give me a little credit for not telling that entire story without saying cowabunga. Now, to place your orders, just visit our website at CBS7.com. In the studio, Deanne Lopez, CBS 7 News. January 1987. It's the last time Ann Clark saw her 1-year-old baby girl, Tiffany Marion. For years, Anne stared at this family portrait showing the back of Tiffany's head. It was the only picture she had of her daughter until now.
Wow. I just thank God. Oh my God. I have prayed a long time. I didn't know whether she was dead or alive.
With butterflies in her stomach and her heartbeat racing, Anne can't help but feel nervous and excited to finally wrap her arms around her daughter again.
We look exactly alike. You'll see, we look just alike. Wow. Wow, I'm excited, Lord. I'm excited.
10 minutes behind schedule, Tiffany's bus pulls in. The moment Anne has been anticipating for 30 years is finally here.
Oh my God. Honey, yes, Grandma! Yes, Grandma! Grandma!
Don't cry.
This is Mama.
Years of pain turns into joy in one single embrace.
I'm so happy. I thank God I got my baby back. That's my baby. Yeah, that's my baby.
Let's go back 30 years to the day Tiffany was taken from her mother, brothers, and sisters. It was a cool January morning in Midland. Anne was at home with her 5 toddlers, including 1-year-old Tiffany. Recently separated from her husband, Alvin Clark, and 5 months pregnant with his baby, she says she was exhausted and asked him to help by watching Tiffany, who wasn't even walking yet.
When he came and got her, I said, well, just watch her for, a little while. And then I'll get a little rest and I'll be back, I'll call you when I'm ready for you to bring her back.
That little while turned into 3 decades.
Basically, he was just done with the relationship, and his whole plan was to take us away. He didn't like, I guess he was saying he didn't like the situation that we were in and that he was put in. Like, I guess them two was bumping heads heavy.
Anne says she tried to file a kidnapping report with a Midland police officer, but...
He asked me, was we married? And I told him yes, and he said that, it was, he had a right if it was his child, and so that's how it went down.
We tried to verify the report with Midland police, but they were unable to confirm or deny Anne's claim. Either way, the situation left Tiffany to grow up in Camden, New Jersey, without her mother.
I always wanted to look for her, but I just didn't know how.
Over the years, Tiffany's sisters, who were still living in Midland, also tried to find her. And then last May, a connection was made on Facebook. Now the next hurdle, figuring out how to bring her back home. Tiffany is a single mother of 4, and neither family had the money to purchase plane tickets. However, between garage sales and help from friends and even Tiffany's father,
I forgave her dad, and she knows that.
their one wish in life came true.
I feel more relieved now. I feel like it's complete.